Hello lovely Summers, SimsEclaire here and welcome back to my channel. For today's video we are not doing a speed build. I'm sure you could tell by the beginning of this video that this is the start of my Let's Play, and it is starting on a little bit of a sad note. I thought about skipping over the whole death and funeral part, but I thought that that was a huge thing in the gameplay and like the progression of this Let's Play, so I did decide to leave it in. We are picking up with gameplay at the funeral. It's a little bit more of like a just like a burial. And then I'm thinking that they might have some friends over at their new house, you know, kind of try and, you know, celebrate Harvey and Kaylee's life. And yeah, I think that we're gonna have, obviously not today, we probably won't have a whole lot of fun, but I think as, you know, time goes on, there'll be some drama, there'll be some, you know, parenthood, kids growing up and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys are too. And let's get into the gameplay. So first things first, I need to place their graves. So this is Kaylee and Harvey's graves. We're going to place them next to each other. And then I think we'll also go into build mode and place some flowers around as well. Just so that way there is a little bit of a nice flower arrangement, because everyone else has these nice flowers. So we're gonna have them all mourn. This is gonna be so sad. Everyone in this Let's Play is going to cry for like 3 days. Okay, let's place some flowers here. Okay, so they're gonna have some pretty daisies and then some assorted wildflowers. And then maybe we can even get like a pretty wreath. We have some pretty wreaths from Seasons. Yeah, like these flower ones here. Okay, so we're gonna do a cheeky little move household. And then we're also probably going to take some funds away, because they were struggling artists and the other family was not. So I think that they probably, you know, saved up all their money and then bought this house for them so that way they could, you know, provide a life for these kids. Because definitely I think that the kids' parents probably saved up some money and they have some money set aside for the kids, but they don't have access to it yet. So I think that they're trying their hardest to you know, provide and just give a good life to these kids. And as you can see, I did build up Newcrest. There are some of my builds. There are some of my good friend Aaliyah's Libby builds on the gallery and on YouTube. You should definitely check her out. I will link her in the description down below. Then there's also a lot of SimLissy builds. I went on the gallery and I found some of hers. Just mostly for the bigger lots, because I don't have a lot of big homes that match this theme that we had here with the Newcrest world. So I did want to make sure that I had a cohesive neighborhood. And this is their house, if you haven't seen the speed build. For a quick tour, for those of you who didn't see the speed build, we have family, living, and kitchen area. I did add some dog bowls because I realized when I was doing the voiceover for the video, I did not add any dog bowls, which obviously the family does have a dog named Gizmo, so I had to make sure I had some dog bowls. We have a little office over here because Madeline is a painter and Chelsea is a writer. And then we have a kid's bedroom, a toddler bedroom, and then the adult bedroom here. So it's a very, very cramped home. Nothing like what they were used to. If you saw in the little bit in the beginning, the kids are used to a very large, very affluent style home. So I think that they're, especially Elaina here, because she was used to the other style a little bit more, I think that they're going to have a little bit of an issue. Speaking of Elaina having an issue, I think she's going to go straight into her room to kind of cry it out a little bit. Meanwhile, I think Chelsea here is going to kind of try and serve everyone some lunch. You know, kind of get everyone fed and taken care of. He's using his diaper, so I think we might give him a bath. Maybe try and, you know, take care of him, cheer him up, get him out of his clothes that he was in at the funeral, because it was raining at the funeral, which was a little foreboding, but And it was also very cold, and I didn't intend for it to be like that. That just was kind of the game doing that, so we'll see. Why won't you give him a bath? Is this bathroom not functional? I swear to God this bathroom's functional. If all of the things in this house are functional except for that bathtub, I'm gonna cry. Yes, okay. We are good. We are in business. Okay, and Chelsea here is giving herself a little bit of a pep talk. I think that she's probably trying to get herself into a better state of mind to help with these kids. She obviously did not know Harvey and Kaylee as good as Madeline did, who is still not giving him a bath, but yet it says that he is. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that one. But I think Madeline is definitely more of a, like, pretend it didn't happen type of a thing. She's gonna hide her grief, and she's not really going to project it all that much. But I think Chelsea is going to try and get over it. Not, that sounded so wrong. Not, like, get over it as if it, like, didn't happen and it wasn't that big of a deal. But I think she's going to try to, you know, kind of hide it and make it look like she's not as affected by it, so that way the kids don't see it. And because I think in her mind that's like the better way to do it. So Elaina here is kind of like locked herself in her room. Everyone but Elaina. So she's like locked herself in her room. She's not in a very good mood. I think the neighbors probably know what happened. They probably know, maybe they were friends with some of Madeline, like with Madeline's brother, or maybe they know the family. So I think that this welcome wagon is a little bit more of like a we're sorry for your loss type of a thing. And I think Chelsea's gonna come invite them in, hoping that a little bit of cheer will kind of liven up the place. Oh, she emerged from her room. Oh, and she's in her pajamas. She's probably like, I don't care about anyone, I don't want anyone here, leave me alone. You guys didn't know my family, you're just pretending. She's gonna be a very moody child, I feel like, which is understandable and acceptable. I also think she's gonna have some issues in school. So right now she is a C student and her performance is just okay. And I think she's probably going to have a couple of issues when she first gets started, because it is a new school for her. She's gonna have to try and make new friends. And her dad was a brainiac, so her dad was an engineer and her mom was an architect, so they were more brainiac people. They were also a little creative. Obviously you have to be an engineer and a architect, but I think that she right now is very creative. She really likes to draw, she really likes to be, you know, more artsy, kind of like her aunt. But I think now that her father has passed, she's gonna try and, you know, make him proud and do a little better in school eventually. And yeah, they're just having a nice little, you know, let's call it a wake. They're having a nice little wake. And they also have some friends. So they're friends with the karaoke legends and then some other people from the city. Now, unfortunately, I never got them to be friends with Penny Pizzazz because she never showed up at the lot that I was at, even though she usually does. So they're not actually friends with Penny Pizzazz, but pretty much everybody else from the city they are close friends with. I think their best friend is probably Miko, so I am going to invite Miko over so that they can, you know, they can have a nice little get together with her. You know, they can talk, she can, you know, maybe give them some advice and stuff. Okay, so I think we're gonna end this party because it's 7:29 at night and it's not quite over. So we're gonna end this. Everyone's gonna go home except for Miko because she wasn't a part of this, and I think that they're just gonna have a little bit of a, you know, chat with their good old best friend. And it is Monday, so Elaina did not go to school today. And Chelsea did not go to work, but Chelsea does have a job as a writer's assistant. She was initially trying to do freelance writing, but when they realized that they had to adopt these kids, which I have to do when they wake up. But when they realized that they were going to adopt these kids, she decided to get a little bit more of a stable job because Madeline here is an artist, like an actual painter, and she's pretty good at it. And she's been selling some art, so I think definitely she's a little bit further along in her like freelancing career than Chelsea was. So I think she decided that she was gonna, you know, kind of try and do the grown-up thing and get a real job so she could try and help support these kids a little bit better. Okay, and then Miko's gonna go home, and they're all gonna go to bed because it's been a long day. They're all pretty tired except for Elaina. So I think Elena's gonna stay up and swing for a little bit and just kind of try and get some fresh air and kind of, you know, try and think about what happened today, and yeah. And then we'll resume in the morning. Okay guys, so we are back in the morning, and it is another dreary day here in The Sims, but I think we're gonna have a little bit of an issue here. So Chelsea and Madeline are still asleep, and Elaina, it is 6:30, so Elaina has to start getting ready for school. And I think that Chelsea and Madeline are used to a little bit of a different schedule. You know, they were living in the city, they were having a good nightlife, and they could sleep in, and they never really had to worry about getting up early or, you know, taking care of anyone, basically. And I think that that's going to come into a little bit of an issue. They're used to something else, just like Elaina and Shaun are, and now they were thrown into this other situation. And I think that Elena's a little upset because she's sad from her parents' death and she doesn't have anyone. Usually she's used to like her parents being up early, them making her breakfast, them making her brother breakfast. And he has no fun, he has no hygiene, he's hungry, and no one's up to take care of him. She has to make herself her own food, she has to get ready for school herself, and she's not old enough. I mean, kids can't take care of toddlers, that's not their job, and it's also not possible in The Sims. So it's not like she can do anything, and she feels bad, but, you know, she has to go to school. And yeah, she doesn't really know what to do in this situation, except for go sit outside and eat her cereal. So it's 8 o'clock-ish, and Elaina just woke up. And she's still very sad. She's gonna take care of some of her needs real quick. And then Chelsea also just woke up. And I think Chelsea's gonna come here and see Elaina leaving, and, you know, maybe try and say goodbye, you know, but it's not gonna work because she has to go to school. Elaina kind of just like ignores her. And then Chelsea is like, oh no, they need to eat. We all need to eat. Okay, there we go. She's gonna go check on the toddler. And like I said, she's gonna be working from home as a freelancer, so she'll be home with the toddler pretty much all day. She'll be the one around to take care of him. No, you're not cooking. Your wife is cooking. Give a bath, please. Someone bathe this toddler. And I think we're gonna have Elaina here make some friends, because it's her first day in the new school. She's not really quite used to anyone yet. She isn't really feeling like applying herself. She kind of just wants to, you know, float through and not really have to worry about all that much. So, and Chelsea actually has off today, so she will not be going to work. So maybe she can help take care of Shaun. Wow, she can help take care of Shaun and the dog while maybe Madeline gets some painting done. Yeah, so Elaina just had a mess up on her bubbles at school on a test, which, I mean, I know I've been there. That's happened to me before. And she just turned it in. She was like, I don't really care. This isn't gonna work for me. Like, I don't feel like having to redo it. And the teacher got mad at her and assigned her extra work. So that's gonna affect some things. Now the family's just gonna go through and fill up some needs, and they're sitting in silence. They don't really know what to talk about. I mean, he's a toddler, he doesn't really know how to talk yet, but she doesn't know what to say. She doesn't know how to take care of him. She is his care dependent, technically, so she should learn really quickly how to take care of him, but she hasn't quite gotten there yet. And then she needs to give Gizmo a bath. Now I think she's going to try and get some work done. So she's going to, you know, express her feelings. She's going to do a sad painting. he's gonna come over here because now he doesn't have anything to do, so he's just gonna watch some toddler videos. Okay, so she's back home from school. No need to make room on her on the refrigerator because her grades have not improved all that well. The principal is calling. Why is the principal calling her? My school performance is pretty shaky. If I'm not careful, I could drop a grade. I was told to focus on my school goals, keep a good mood at school, and make it on time every day. So she's really slipping. She's having a rough time here. And she has a school project here, but I think we're just going to get rid of it. And I think she's going to pretend that it wasn't there. She didn't have to do it. And she's going to fill up some of her needs real quick. And I think Chelsea might sit down here when she's done filling the dog or feeding the dog. And I think she might try to communicate with Elaina because none of them have really, you know, done anything to try and get her into a better mood, to try and figure her out. And I think she might try, and she's gonna, you know, friendly introduction, let's start off nice. Complain about problems. And I think that Elena's just gonna be like, you have problems? It was my parents who died. You didn't even know them. I don't think she's gonna be very nice at her at all. I think she's gonna insult her. Oh yeah. She's gonna yell at her. She's gonna walk away. She's like, I'm done with you. You're being real mean. Says that to a child. I'm trying to help you and you're just not accepting my help. And I think she's going to come in here and she's going to talk to her about this a little bit, have a deep conversation. And then they're going to come in here and try and have a brief little conversation about, tell a dramatic story. Ask for advice on Elaina, have a deep conversation. And she is still sad, but she doesn't feel as sad anymore. Like I said, she's kind of shoving down her sadness. She's trying to ignore it, pretend it doesn't exist, whereas Chelsea's trying to, you know, embrace it and yet at the same time figure it out and not project it onto the children. And I think they had their nice little talk. I think Madeline probably told her not to worry about it. She was just sad. She'd get over it. She'd figure it out. And I don't think she's gonna figure it out. And she has some sentiments with Shaun. Okay, so I haven't really played with sentiments yet, so this is kind of new to me, so I don't really know how she got this because they haven't really spent that much time together, but she has a close sentiment with Shaun. They're open-hearted. So Chelsea feels close to a recent addition to the family, a warm welcome. Oh, so because he welcomed her as a care dependent, she feels welcomed and she feels warm and like, yeah, because Madeline has the same one too. Do they? Okay, so no. So they don't have that same attachment, that same sentiment with Elaina because she has not been very warm and opening with them. And she doesn't really want them around. She wants her parents back. And I think before bed, she's just gonna chat with some of her friends. So she's gonna sit and chat with some friends, you know, try and keep those relationships, not do her homework, which they're not really pushing her to do her homework either, so that's interesting. They're kind of just like, whatever she's gonna do, she's gonna do. And then it's 7:38. And they're all pretty tired, so I feel like Chelsea's gonna do some cleaning up, and then they're all probably gonna hop into bed. And then after they hop into bed, I think we are gonna leave this part here, and then we will resume next time with Wednesday morning. I might do a little gameplay off camera just to try and get some things rolling, but I think we're at a good place for the first episode. We had the funeral, which was a little sad. We developed some other things, and yeah, I think that it's gonna be a good time. Now, Elaina decided instead of going to bed, which she needs to do, she was going to paint. Not Elaina. Madeline decided that instead of going to bed, she was going to paint. So that's interesting. maybe this is even causing some strain on their relationship, on Madeline and Chelsea's. They don't really, they don't really spend as much time together anymore because now they have these kids that they have to take care of, and they have different work schedules now. And so, okay, so now that she's finished this painting, she's gonna sell it. And then she's going to go to bed a little bit later than everyone else. Still not super late though. Okay, so we are going to leave this part here. I hope you all enjoyed this one. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And please, please, please let me know in the comments down below what you think of these, how you want the story to go. If you have any suggestions, I'm open to them. And I will see you all next Friday for another installment of the Faulk family series. Bye!